Hello, nice to meet you once again through this video. Guys, hope you're all doing fine. And in this video, I have decided to help you to have a clear-cut understanding about active voice and passive voice through various examples. So this is going to be a kind of a consolidation or a summary of what we have learned so far, which means that I am going to give you sentences, a kind of exercise, and we are going to change what is being asked of us through the instruction. So those who are viewing my channel for the first time, click the bell icon, watch till the end of the video and see how it helps you. Then you invite other people also to subscribe my channel and try to be benefited by learning grammar. Okay? So active voice and passive voice, it's going to be an exercise session where I'm going to write about 5 to 10 sentences, and we are going to change one by one, and it is going to be mixture of all models in all tenses possible. So you are going to answer me in mind, because if we have Zoom classes or Google Meet, we can listen to one another, but this is a video presentation. You can only think your answer only in mind, but when I write the answer on the board, you will be really happy if you had thought of the same answer. Okay guys, so let's go to today's session of active voice and passive voice, where we are going to complete the session on this grammar by writing or listening and doing the exercises in various tenses. Okay, so let me write. What is the title that we can think of today's session? Let's say consolidation, or the summary of the active and passive voice. Summary or consolidation, whatever you may call it. Consolidation of active voice and passive voice. Active and passive. Okay, so I hope you can understand. I hope you can understand what I mean by saying this consolidation, which means that I'm going to give you sentences and I'm going to write the sentences on the board, and we are going to decide. The instruction will be simply change the voice. Okay, change the voice. So for those who are students still in your higher secondary level or even high school level, or those who are working in offices, or those who are interested in learning grammar, we may certainly understand the instruction properly. See, what does it mean? When you say change the voice, immediately you should remember that you are going to write the other voice of the given sentence. Alright? So you are asked to write the other voice of the sentences that is given, which means that if you find that the given sentence is in active voice, you have to change it to passive voice. If the given sentence is in passive voice, you have to write in active voice. Very simple. Okay, now let me write one sentence after another. So once we complete the first sentence, then we'll go to the second one. We'll learn and we'll try to see how far you can answer my question, or how far you have understood active voice and passive voice. Okay, so this is going to be a kind of a test oriented session. Okay, so let me write the first sentence here. A letter has to be posted by me. That's the first sentence that I am going to write. See, a letter has to be posted by me. Okay. Now you read the sentence. You read the sentence and then you decide whether the sentence that is given here or written here is in active voice or in passive voice. Just take 5 to 6 seconds and decide. Okay? I suppose you must have decided what this sentence. So this is in passive voice. Why do I say this is in passive voice? Certainly you have the preposition by, and then look at the verb here. Has to be posted. Of course we have the infinitive to here, but has to be posted, which means that someone will have to post. So this is in passive voice. Something is directed to somebody. Okay? So you must identify the subject, verb, object and then follow the rules and regulations and try to change this into other voice. So if this is passive voice, so you have to write this in active voice. So what is the answer for this? You must have thought of the answer already in your mind. Okay, now me, that is your object. So therefore that has to be written here as a subject. So I, okay, I, and what is your verb? Has to be posted. Has to be posted. You simply think have posted. Have posted. How will you change this into passive? Has been posted. Okay. Now since it is has to be posted, now try to think in active voice. It is in which tense now? Present perfect tense. Of course it is in infinitive verb there. So has to be posted, which means that I have. So instead of has, you have to write have, because your subject is I. So I have to post. And then this is your subject here, so that has to be written as an object. So I have to post a letter. See? So this is in passive voice. Okay? So change the voice means you must not confuse. So whenever you read the instruction given to you, change the voice. First decide whether the given sentence is in passive voice or in active voice. So in order to find out whether the given sentence is in active voice or in passive voice, you must look at only the verb in the given sentence. Then only you can go for by or without by. Sometimes the passive voice sentences may not have the preposition by. Why? Because we also saw some irregular way of writing passivation. Like when you have imperatives and interrogatives, they may not have the preposition by but something else. Okay, will come there. So therefore all these things will have to be taken into consideration. All these things will have to be taken into consideration. Okay, so let me write another example. How did you do the experiment? Okay, so how did you do this experiment? How did you do this experiment? Now read the sentence, decide first whether it is in active voice or in passive voice. See? Tell me whether it is in active voice or in passive voice. How did you do this experiment? Of course, certainly this is an interrogative sentence. But whether it is an interrogative sentence or ordinary sentence, first you have to decide whether the sentence is in active voice or in passive voice. Even if this is interrogative sentence, I have told you that the sentence that you are going to change also will have to be an interrogative sentence. So that you need to be very, very clear in your mind. Alright? Now, So how did you do this experiment? And see how is it? Of course, WH question. So you have to retain that question there. Now our thing is, our job is to find out the verb, whether the given verb is in active voice or in passive voice. Now what is the verb here? Did, do. So did is your past tense. In other words, they have split the word into by writing auxiliary verb as well as the main verb here. So this is do verb written in past tense. How did you? This is your subject here. So this experiment is your object. So this is in active voice. Okay. So this is in active voice. This is in active voice. So how are you going to change this? Our job is to change the verb. Okay? Our job is to change the verb. Now how will you write this into passive voice now? How? Now what is the tense here? Past tense. So what is the tense? This is past tense. So therefore, what is past tense here? Two verb here. How was? What is your object here? This is your object. So that has to be written as subject here. How was this experiment? How was this experiment? And what is the main verb? Do. Okay? And that has to be changed into past participle. So which means done. Done. Then you have the preposition by. What is your object? What is your subject here? You. So you will become as an object here. Done by you. See, and this is your change into passive voice. How was this experiment done by you? Both are in interrogations. That you have to be extremely careful. Okay? Clear? So two different sentences. So we have changed the normal sentence in present perfect tense, and here you have changed the interrogative sentence into active to passive. Okay? So we move on to another sentence. That's an example. Prices were being distributed by the chief guest. So let me write the sentence. See, prices were being distributed. Prices were being distributed by the chief guest. So that is your work here, given sentence. Decide now. Prices were being distributed by the chief guest. What is the voice? What is the voice here, guys? What's the voice here? You have the preposition by, and what is your verb? Were being distributed. Were being distributed. So whenever you see the verb being, make sure that it is continuous tense. And of course, were being, where is your past tense. So past plus continuous is equal to past continuous. Verb is distributed in past participle form of the verb distribute. So therefore, this is past continuous tense in passive voice. Okay? So past continuous tense in passive voice. So which means you have to change this sentence into, you must change this, you are asked to change this sentence into active voice. Okay? Now, let's change now. Who is the subject here? The chief guest, of course. The chief guest. Okay? The chief guest. So we decided the tense already, past continuous tense. So since the subject is third person singular here, chief guest, so where being distributed becomes was. Of course, this is going to be active voice. So immediately after writing the auxiliary verb, you need to write the main verb adding ing. So the chief guest was distributing. The chief guest was distributing what? prices. That's it. So this is your active voice. Okay? Read the sentence now. The chief guest was distributing prices. So change into passive voice. Prices were being distributed by the chief guest. See now? Past continuous tense, and this is interrogatives, and this is present perfect tense. So three different kind of exercises we have done so far. Just go through this, read the sentence once again, and make sure whether you understand the concept correctly and instruction correctly, so that you will have the better understanding of the grammar item. So because we are dealing with the active voice and passive voice, changing from one tense to the other, from one voice to the other. So you need to be extremely alert and watchful whether the given sentence is in active voice or in passive voice. Okay guys, now let me rub this sentence just for the time being. Just go through the words, go through the sentences, how one voice is changed into another voice. Okay, how one voice is changed into another voice. Just go through the sentences once again. Just read the sentences once again. Very simple. See, look at the board and read the sentences once again. I have changed the ink. Okay, right. I hope you're all very clear in understanding the instruction plus changing of the active voice to passive voice or from passive voice to active voice. So now let me rub these sentences and then we move on to a few more examples. Okay, we move on to a few more examples. We have done enough so far in active voice and passive voice. So today it's going to be a kind of a conclusion for this active voice and passive voice. Okay. All right. Instruction is the same. I have written so far 3 sentences. So let's move on to the next sentence. We will not visit the temple this year. What's the next sentence here? We will not. Okay? We will not visit the temple this year. So this is the given sentence for you to change. We will not visit the temple this year. Make sure whether the sentence is in active voice or in passive voice. Read again. We will not visit the temple this year. Of course, we have the word not yet. It is in negative. But that does not matter. We can change. Have the same understanding. So, have you decided? This is, what is your verb here? Will visit, of course. Will visit. When do you add the auxiliary verb will? Only for the future tenses. But depending upon the tenses in future, it could be future perfect, it could be future continuous. If it is future continuous, you will have will be plus verb plus ing. Okay? And then if it is future perfect tense, you will have will and have plus past participle form of the verb. But here you will have you have only the auxiliary verb will and then visit, the present tense verb. Apo, what is this one? Of course, this is simple future tense. So we will not visit the temple this year. So which means this is in active voice. Okay, this is in active voice. This is in active voice. So automatically what are we going to do now? We have to change. We must change. So we are asked to change in the passive voice. So what is your object, subject, verb here? So this is your subject and this is your verb and this is your object. Of course this you can take this as an adjunct or adverb. This you can add this anywhere. Okay, now let's bring the object as a subject here. The temple, see, will not visit. Will not visit. So which means the temple will not be visited. Will not be visited by, what is your subject here? We. So we become us. The temple will not be visited by us this year. See? And it is your passive voice. You understand? Very simple. Very simple. See? Simple future tense. Okay. So we move on to the next sentence. Okay. So we are taught grammar. Let's look at this sentence. We are taught grammar by, say, Mr. Kumar. Say Mr. Kumar. We are taught grammar by Mr. Kumar. Look at the sentence and decide whether it is in active voice or in passive voice. So what is your verb here? We. That is your subject. Sorry, subject is we. What is your verb here? Are taught. Are is your auxiliary verb. Taught is the past participle form of the verb teach. So which means are taught. What tense is that? What tense is that? Simple present tense. Since your subject is plural, you have written, it is written as are here. Grammar is your object. So this is your verb, this is your object, and this is your preposition, and this is your, who is doing a grammar? Mr. Kumar. Okay? So we are taught grammar by Mr. Kumar. So how do we change this into passive now? Sorry, how to change this into active now? So this is already in passive voice. So what is the subject here? Mr. Kumar. Mr. Kumar. Our thought becomes teaches. Teaches whom? Us. Okay? Mr. Kumar teaches us. What does he teach? Grammar. When? This year. This year is not here. Doesn't matter. Okay. So that's enough. So Mr. Kumar teaches us grammar. See, this is your active voice. Okay, guys. See, very simple. Very simple. Mr. Kumar teaches us grammar. So grammar is taught by Mr. Kumar. Or we are taught grammar by Mr. Kumar. Okay? So we go to another sentence now. Just have a look at them. Just have a look at them. Read these sentences for 1 or 2 seconds here. Once again, how we have changed. Okay? Alright. So we move on to next 1 or 2 sentences more. So I'm just going to rub this one so that you will have more exercises. More exercises. Let not lie told by you. Let not a lie told by you. Remember the word let. So whenever you hear the word let, and that is in passive voice. Okay, passive voice. So how do we begin the active voice now? Of course, we have the preposition by here. You is second person. Singular or plural, you may take whatever you like. So let not a lie be told by you. How do you write this into active voice? Simply you can say, don't tell a lie. Or you can write another way. You don't tell a lie. So you can add this also. Here also. You don't tell a lie. That could become another answer. You don't tell a lie. Since you have the verb here. Since you have the subject here. You can add this also. You don't tell a lie. You don't tell a lie. Let not a lie be told by you. If you remove this, of course, you can simply have the word do not tell a lie. Since it is you written here, we can simply add that also into the changing of the active voice. And this is in imperative. Don't tell a lie, or you don't tell a lie. And that is also possible. So since it is you here, so that is your active voice. That is your active voice. Okay? Shall we go to another sentence now? When did you feel the pain? When did you feel the pain? When did you feel the pain? This is the interrogative sentence. Of course, this is also in past tense. Did feel. So how is this sentence is changed into? This is in active voice. Okay, this is in active voice, interrogative sentence. How will this be changed into passive voice now? Maintain the same question word here. So when, what is the tense? Past tense. So when did you feel the pain? After writing the question word when, then you have to write the auxiliary, because you have to write the question word now. When was the subject? When was the pain? Now feel is your main verb, and that has to be written in past participle form. Therefore, felt. When was the pain felt by you? See? When was the pain felt by you? When was the pain felt by you? Okay? So when was the pain felt by you? So we'll write one last sentence now. We write one last sentence. What is that? You are requested to open the door. You are requested. You are requested to open the door. Now what is this one here? This is an imperative sentence. And of course this is a request, because already you have the verb here, request. Is this in active voice or in passive voice? Of course, whenever you say you are requested, that is in passive voice. So how do you begin this answer? In past active voice here. So since you have the word here, so what are you now? How do you begin? Please. Straight away you can write the imperative sentence. What is your verb here? To open. So please open the door. That's it. Please open the door. So this is your active voice. This is your active voice. Okay guys. So we have done about 7 to 8 sentences here, and this is kind of a consolidation, as I told you at the beginning of this video. So with this we conclude the active and the passive voice, rather passivation. Of course we will be dealing with all the tenses and voices again and again in various grammar items, but in particular we discussed the active voice and passive voice. We began with the active voice, By how? By understanding the different tenses and the usages of those tenses, and then the circumstances of those tenses, and then we came to the changing from active to passive. And there we said there are only 8 passive voice tenses, but there are 12 active voice tenses in English. Okay, so these are all few informations that I am just telling you so that you will become aware of what is active voice and what is passive voice, and what is included, what are not included. So what are we supposed to remember? Remember all the rules and regulations. You remember when we began this transformation from active to passive, we said there are certain general rules and they will have to be remembered in order to change from active to passive or passive to active. So try to go back to the video and see what are those rules, how can we change. So following all the rules and regulations, we can certainly change a sentence from active voice to passive voice and passive voice to active voice. Okay guys, hope this video has been a helpful video to you, and you can go on watching again and again if you don't understand when you watch this for the first time. You're always there, the video will be always there as a permanent help to you, so you can come back and open the video and watch it again. Okay, so with these informations, let me conclude this video, friends. Until I meet you in the next video with the next grammar item, it's Luis Das signing you off today, and we'll see in the next video. Until then, bye. See you.